Deep in the remote wilderness, a secret lay hidden. For generations, whispers persisted of a place untouched by time, a place swallowed by the earth. Locals spoke of a gaping chasm, a bottomless pit. It was said to swallow anything that dared to venture too close. My team and I, driven by curiosity, set out to find it. We spent weeks navigating dense jungle, guided by ancient maps and the stories of local tribesmen. The air grew heavy with humidity, thick with the smell of damp earth and unknown dangers. We knew the risks. We were determined to uncover the truth. The journey was arduous. Each step forward felt like a battle against nature itself. The dense foliage seemed to close in on us, as if the forest was alive and aware of our presence. The deeper we ventured, the more we felt the weight of the legends that surrounded this place. Every rustle of leaves, every distant animal call, seemed to whisper secrets of the past. At night, around the campfire, we shared stories and speculated about what we might find. The flickering flames cast eerie shadows, and the sounds of the jungle at night were both mesmerizing and unsettling. We were miles away from civilization, relying solely on our wits and each other. The camaraderie we built was our strongest asset, keeping our spirits high even when the path seemed impossible. Days turned into weeks, and our supplies began to dwindle. We crossed rivers, climbed steep inclines, and navigated treacherous paths. The ancient maps, though worn and faded, were our guiding light. Each landmark we recognized from the maps brought a sense of accomplishment and renewed our determination. The stories of the local tribesmen echoed in our minds, reminding us of the significance of our quest. One day we stumbled upon ancient carvings on rocks, hidden beneath layers of moss and vines. These carvings depicted scenes of rituals and offerings, hinting at the chasm's significance to the ancient inhabitants of this land. We spent hours examining them, trying to decipher their meanings. It was clear that this place held great importance, and we were on the brink of uncovering its secrets. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we reached the chasm. It was more imposing than we had imagined, a dark and foreboding abyss that seemed to stretch endlessly into the earth. Standing at the edge, we felt a mix of awe and trepidation. The legends were true. This was a place of mystery and danger, but we had come too far to turn back now. With a deep breath, we prepared to descend into the unknown, ready to face whatever lay hidden in the depths of the earth. After days of searching, we found it. The forest had been unyielding, its dense foliage and labyrinthine paths testing our resolve at every turn. Each step had been a battle against nature, but we were driven by the promise of discovery. The moment we stumbled upon the cave entrance, a mix of relief and trepidation washed over us. This was it, the culmination of our efforts, the gateway to the unknown, a gaping maw in the earth, shrouded in mist and shadow. The entrance seemed to breathe, exhaling a cold, damp air that sent chills down our spines. It was as if the cave itself was alive, a sentient being waiting to swallow us whole. The mist swirled around the opening, creating an eerie, almost supernatural atmosphere. We stood there, mesmerized and apprehensive, knowing that once we crossed that threshold, there would be no turning back. It was an abyss, a void in the world that sent shivers down my spine. The darkness within seemed to pulse with a life of its own, an impenetrable blackness that our eyes couldn't pierce. The sheer scale of the chasm was overwhelming, a stark reminder of nature's raw power and our own insignificance. We were mere specks on the edge of an unfathomable void, standing at the precipice of a journey that would test our limits. The air grew cold, the forest eerily silent. It was as if the world itself was holding its breath, waiting to see what we would do next. The usual sounds of the forest, birdsong, rustling leaves, the distant call of animals, had all but vanished, replaced by an oppressive stillness. Every step we took seemed to echo in the silence, amplifying our sense of isolation and vulnerability. We were alone, standing on the brink of the unknown. The entrance to the abyss was at least 50 feet wide. It yawned before us, a massive gaping hole that seemed to defy the very fabric of the earth. The trees around it stood like silent sentinels, their branches reaching out as if to warn us of the dangers that lay ahead. We couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and dread as we gazed into the cavernous opening, knowing that it held secrets that had remained hidden for millennia. Its edges disappeared into the darkness below. The light from our headlamps barely penetrated the inky blackness, revealing only a fraction of the cave's true depth. It was as if the darkness was a living entity, swallowing the light and leaving us with more questions than answers. We could only imagine what lay beyond the reach of our beams, hidden in the shadows, waiting to be discovered. We couldn't see the bottom. The abyss seemed to stretch on forever, a bottomless pit that defied our understanding. It was a void that challenged our perception of reality, a chasm that seemed to exist outside the bounds of time and space. We were drawn to it, compelled by a mix of fear and curiosity, knowing that the only way to uncover its secrets was to venture into its depths. Carefully we set up our ropes and rigging. Every knot, every carabiner, every piece of equipment was double-checked and triple-checked. We knew that one mistake could be fatal, that the cave would show no mercy to those who were unprepared. Our hands trembled with a mix of excitement and fear as we prepared for the descent, each of us lost in our own thoughts, contemplating the journey ahead. Our headlamps cut through the darkness, but only revealed more darkness below. The beams of light seemed to be swallowed by the void, illuminating only the immediate area around us. It was a stark reminder of the challenges we would face, the unknown dangers that lurked in the shadows. We took a deep breath, steeling ourselves for the descent, knowing that we were about to embark on a journey into the heart of darkness. The descent would be perilous. Every step, every movement had to be calculated and precise. The walls of the cave were slick with moisture, making our footing treacherous. We moved slowly, methodically, our senses heightened by the knowledge that one wrong move could spell disaster. The air grew colder as we descended, the darkness pressing in around us, but we pressed on, driven by the promise of discovery and the thrill of the unknown. Local legends spoke of a subterranean river. It was said to flow through the heart of the earth, a source of both life and death. They called it the River of Whispers. Some believed it led to a hidden city, lost to time. Others whispered of ancient spirits guarding its secrets. Spirits angered by intruders. We listened with respect, but we were not deterred. We were here to separate fact from fiction. The first drop was the longest. One by one we rappelled into the abyss. The air grew colder, damper, the darkness complete. The beam of my headlamp danced across the slick, moss-covered walls. The rock was cold and damp against my skin. After what felt like an eternity, my feet touched solid ground. We had made it to the bottom of the chasm, but our journey was just beginning. Section 5, Silence and Darkness. We stood on a ledge, a narrow shelf of rock jutting out over nothingness. Our headlamps illuminated a cavern so vast it seemed to swallow the light. The silence was absolute, broken only by the sound of our own breathing. We were deep underground, completely cut off from the world above. The air hung heavy with the smell of moisture and minerals. We were alone, swallowed by the earth. Or so we thought. Section 6, A River of Secrets. We pressed on, our headlamps cutting through the darkness. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth, and the sound of our footsteps echoed off the walls, creating an eerie symphony that seemed to grow louder with each step. The deeper we ventured, the more the cave seemed to come alive, whispering secrets from its ancient past. The cavern opened up into a vast chamber, its ceiling lost in shadow. Stalactites hung like ancient chandeliers, and the walls were adorned with intricate patterns formed by centuries of mineral deposits. It was a place that felt both sacred and forbidden, as if we were trespassing on the domain of forgotten gods. And there, in the heart of the earth, we found it. The River of Whispers. It was unlike anything we had ever seen, a hidden gem in the depths of the world. The river seemed to pulse with a life of its own, its waters shimmering with an otherworldly glow that beckoned us closer. It flowed silently through the cavern, its surface black as oil, reflecting our headlamps back at us. The stillness of the water was mesmerizing, creating an illusion of depth that seemed to stretch into infinity. It was as if the river held the secrets of the ages waiting for someone to unlock its mysteries. The water was ice cold, its touch sending a jolt through my body. It was a reminder of the cave's unforgiving nature, a stark contrast to the beauty that surrounded us. The cold seemed to steep into my bones, grounding me in the reality of our discovery. It was a sight both beautiful and terrifying. The river's beauty was undeniable, but there was an underlying sense of danger, a feeling that we were not alone. The cave seemed to watch us, its shadow shifting and dancing in the light of our headlamps. It was a place of wonder and fear, a reminder of the power and mystery of the natural world. Section 7. Nature's Masterpiece. The cavern was a subterranean wonderland, Stalactites hung like teeth from the ceiling, their tips dripping with water. Stalagmites rose from the cavern floor, some reaching heights of 30 feet or more. The walls sparkled with crystals, reflecting our headlamps in a dazzling display of light. It was a masterpiece of nature, millions of years in the making. We were the first human eyes to ever behold its beauty. Section 8. Unlocking the past. We discovered ancient cave paintings on the walls, evidence of human presence dating back thousands of years. These were the ancestors of the tribesmen above, seeking refuge in the earth. We also found fossilized bones, remnants of creatures long extinct. The cave was a time capsule, a glimpse into a lost world. Our discovery was rewriting history, challenging everything we thought we knew about the past. Section 9. The journey continues. Our exploration of the secret river cave has just begun. There are still miles of uncharted passages to explore, countless secrets to uncover. We have only scratched the surface of this hidden world. The River of Whispers calls to us, beckoning us deeper into the heart of the earth. What new wonders await? What other mysteries will be revealed? We are prepared to face the unknown. We are adventurers. We are explorers. The journey continues.